Okay, so what home maintenance should we be doing as we head into summer? Home maintenance is a topic that I think a lot of people turn a blind eye to, regardless of where they live. It's not as fun as some of the other stuff, but it's very, very important. And good home maintenance will do two things. Number one, it'll elongate the lifespans of what you're working with, and it'll also keep you out of some of the trouble. So there's a couple different things that I try and keep more seasonal. First and foremost, cleaning your heating and cooling. There's a couple different ways that you can do it. First and foremost, you really should do it twice a year. Think cooling before the summer, heating before the fall. There's a few short months in that time period in which you can actually do both at the same time. You can't clean your AC if it's too cool. So there is sometimes that you can do both, but cleaning and servicing your HVAC is one of those things that I would always recommend, and I feel like people really, really neglect. That is definitely going to elongate that lifespan in there. We also talk a lot about making sure your gutters are clean, especially come rainy season, right? Clogged gutters are one of the reasons that people get water in their homes. And I think people don't think about that. They think of things that are wrong with the building. They don't think of what we call water management. Clean gutters help for better water management. Water management takes the water away from the home. So really important. The other thing that I've been trying to bring as much awareness as possible to in the past few years is sewer maintenance. Not a sexy topic at all, but sewer maintenance.
Colonoscopy.
Totally. Exactly. Good point. Colonoscopy, sewer maintenance, all the same. Sewer maintenance is something that I think gets very, very neglected. Even as professionals, we didn't pay as much attention to sewer scoping, right? It's something that we're doing now on most of our inspections, or at least we're recommending. But sewer maintenance, cleaning, rotting, making sure your sewer line is okay. The city actually has some really, really great programs for single family homes, townhomes, stuff like that, where they'll repair anything that's on their side of the street. Sewer repairs can get very expensive. So trying to catch that stuff early, trying to make sure everything is clean, rotted. So I would definitely put sewer maintenance in there as well.
Right. And back to the topic of the new construction, and I force this issue with my clients when they're buying new construction to still do a sewer inspection. Even though it's got a brand new sewer line, a lot of times you're going to find there's construction debris stuck in there. In addition to that, I remember this one sewer inspection that I did. There were diapers in a brand new construction house. I think like one of the contractors brought his kid or something and shoved the diaper down the toilet. I have no idea. But there were diapers, masks. So I highly advise the sewer. But the other thing, I'm not sure, do you guys have sump pumps here in the city?
We do.
All right. I mean, the sump pump is crucial because especially, I think in August, we start getting those monsoon big thunderstorms and rains. You have to make sure that your sump pump is functioning right and proper.
For certain. And spend the extra $300 and get a battery backup on it.
Absolutely.
So it's funny you mentioned that story about the sewer line. I'm like you. A sewer scope, it's a $250 inspection where they send a camera down and they scope the sewer line. A lot of times on newer construction, people will say to me, oh, it's a newer line, newer this, I shouldn't do it. My philosophy is it's a small price to pay to make sure for the peace of mind.
Absolutely.
I had a client do it in a 2-year-old house. The entire sewer line had actually sunk because of the grounding beneath it wasn't saturated the right way. So they had to dig it all up and redo the entire line. Thanks to the sellers and not to my client because of that $250 inspection. So when I recommend to do a sewer inspection, I think it's well worth it regardless of the age of the home.
Totally agree with you, 1,000%. And a lot of times I have to force my clients to do it. They're like, no. I'm like, seriously, you're buying a house for $1.5 million and you won't splurge $250? Come on, get a peace of mind here.
Yeah.
And then we do it. And sometimes, not all the time, something is wrong. And like, oh, thank God we did it.
I think that at least 20 to 30% of the time when we're doing it, something is coming up. It may be as simple as you really need to rod this.
Do you guys do radon inspections in the city?
So radon is something that we do. We don't see a lot of high elevated radon levels in the areas that I work in. So once again, it's kind of that conversation to say, hey, this is a little bit more for peace of mind. But I will say we have had a couple of tests that have popped up a little bit higher from time to time. Any other home maintenance tips that you guys do very specific to the summertime? What about pools? You guys have pools.
Yeah, we do. And we don't have to share them like at a public place when we have a pool in the backyard.
Shared pools come with friends.
Yeah, you know what? That's okay. Sometimes you just need some downtime and alone time. You're talking to a germaphobe and you know that.
Rest.
Anyway, yes. So our maintenance in the suburbs would be your pool maintenance. You got to get the pool contractor to come out there, make sure, the lines are all correct. And the other thing is your sprinkler system for your lawn. So you need to get the sprinkler system checked, plus your AC checked. Again, just like you with the gutters, just like you with the sump pump, and basically a lot of your outdoor landscaping. I mean, you're going to start inviting people over to your house. You're going to have that barbecue for Father's Day or 4th of July. Get those weeds out of that lawn, kind of spruce it up a little, throw some mulch, plant some flowers, bring some brightness. And then when you come home from work, you see that you're actually really happy and proud to come to your house and excited, and you want to entertain and sit outside and
probably you are stepping into our next viewer's question.
Oh.
So anyways, just to wrap it up, definitely some great maintenance. I mean, I always recommend to people, put together a plan in the beginning of the year. And if you don't want to put together a plan, there are companies that will put together the plan for you and they will execute that for you.
That's true. You can actually pay, maintenance
totally
to certain companies, and they'll execute all 4 seasons.
The other thing that's great to know, like for example, a lot of times with heating and cooling, the heating and cooling companies are notorious for this. They will offer you a membership, a couple of discounts here and there, discounts if you need work done. But the most important part of that is if you get to a point where you are in trouble and need help, because trust me, the AC only goes out in the hottest week of the year.
When it's 102 and 90% humidity.
They are going to prioritize you and get out there sooner. So it's usually a good membership to look into. But whether it's looking at your roof, looking at your HVAC, keeping your gutters clean, all of these companies will typically work with you. And we also in the city at least have some companies that will oversee all of that to make it really easy.
Agreed.
Convenient. Yeah, in the city.
And the thing is that if you can't afford to do that, everything's up on YouTube. You can do this yourself, and it doesn't take hours upon thousands of hours, maybe just a couple of hours to do any one of these chores. And you can kind of make a plan for yourself, put it on your Google Calendar, and like today, on Saturday, I'm from 8 to 10, I'm going to clean gutters or like whatever you're going to do. So, and if you want like a complete maintenance list, well, you can email me, you can email Amanda, and we'll give you your complete maintenance list of what you need to be doing.
Absolutely.